Happy Monday / Tuesday, guys. Rather than give you a lesson, I'm just going to give you the Hawks examples and then have you do the Hawks at just 5.2. So that's what you're going to be doing today, Hawks 5.2. The reason why we're doing these, guys, is you have to get these done before that May 8th deadline. This still counts as college credit, so make sure you're keeping up on the Hawks and doing the homework assignments. There is no homework assignment besides the Hawks. You don't have to submit anything to class. I'm just going to give you the video and say complete the Hawks. So the first thing you want to do is you want to write down the compound interest formula, which I wrote over here in purple. And then I wrote what everything meant. So little a is your initial amount, r is your rate, n is the number of times compounded, t is your time, big A is what you're trying to find. You do need to know these key words. Annually means that your n is 1. Semi-annually means your n is 2. Quarterly means your n is 4. Daily means your n is 365. And monthly means your n is 12. So the first problem, it says Tessa invests $5,300, so that's my initial amount, times 1 plus my interest rate is 0.058. You got to make it a decimal if they give you a percentage. Semi-annually means I'm dividing by 2. Notice that 2 also goes up here in the exponent, and then t is my years, which would be 7. You're just going to type all that into your calculator and solve it. You should be able to get this, guys. What I would do is make sure you know how to work your calculator and make sure it equals that answer. You're not going to be able to do these on any website, so you have to know how to do these problems using your own calculator. Number 2, it says she inherited $7,300. She wants to deposit into a savings account. She has 2 accounts that she can choose from. She wants to know which one's the best. So account 1, in order to figure out which one's the best, here's what you do. You take 1 plus my interest rate, which is 0.052, divided by annually means 1, and I'm going to take it to the first power. Now you're going to figure out what that number is, and you're going to compare it to account 2, which I'm going to take 1 plus my interest rate, 0.03, divided by, this one says quarterly, so I'm going to divide by 4, and then take it to the 4th power. So whatever you're dividing by, that's what exponent you take it to. Now whichever one is bigger number, that's the one that has more interest. So in this case, it's account 1. Now, in the next step, it says she chose account 1. She wants to know the time or how much her account will be over 1.6 years. So we're just going to do what we did in question 1. We're going to take the initial amount, $7,300. We're going to set it up with our interest rate and our n, and then 1 times 1.16 would be our exponent. And you should get your answer of $7,916.77. Number 3, sometimes, guys, they give you the equation right here. I'm just going to go ahead and use that. My initial amount would be $28,900. My rate is 2.5%, but remember you got to convert it to a decimal. And then my t is 6 years. You just type it into your calculator again. You get this. You're going to round to 2 decimal places because it's money. Number 4, it says a certain species of alligators is to be introduced into a swamp. They estimate the population will grow to, and they give you an equation, and it says t represents the number of years from the time of introduction. So it says, what is the tripling time for alligators? Well, guys, tripling means I'm multiplying by 3, right? Well, what are you doing right here? You're multiplying by 3. So I got to figure out what my exponent, or what I got to plug in for my t to get 1. So I'm going to take my exponent and set it equal to 1. You multiply by 3, you get t equals 3. So that's why it's 3 years. How long will it take for the population to reach? This is probably the hardest one. They give you a set amount, so that's what you're going to set your equation equal to. Just using the equation from above. Now here's what you have to do to solve this. I'm going to divide by 973. So I get 27 equals 3 times t to the 3rd. How do you get rid of an exponent? Well, you take the log of both sides. So I get t divided by 3 times log of 3. Now you got to divide by your log of 3. When you do that, this right here is going to be 3 equals, all I have left on the right hand side is t to the 3rd, so I got to multiply by 3. 3 times 3 is 9, which is your answer. That's one of the harder questions, but not the hardest. Again, sometimes they just give you the equation, guys. Right here, they want to know what it is. So it's 2,438 times 1 minus. They give you the rate as a decimal already, so just use it. And then to the second, you would type it in and solve it. Same thing here, guys. They give you the equation. They tell you a time. They want to know what it is, so you just type it into your calculator and solve it. do this part right here first, and then subtract it from 1, and then multiply it by 0.05 to get your answer on this one. As you move on, next problem. This one's a little bit harder. It says the revenue function is given, x times p of x. Well, they give you p of x here, but that's also multiplying by an x. And this says find the revenue if 20 units are sold. So here's what you got to do. My 20 is going to go into every x that I see here. So I'm going to say 20 times. I have the p of x equation, so I'm going to plug it in. And it's negative 20 divided by 5. So you get 20 times 37 times 3 to the negative 4th. You would type all that into your calculator, do this part first, and then multiply it by 20, and you should get your 914 that they're after. Alright, last problem. This is the hardest one, so I'll kind of go through this one a little bit slower. So it says the half-life of phosphorus is approximately 24.3 days. It says determine the amount that you have, or what your base is after so-and-so, and then wants to know after t days. So it says round to 6 decimal places. Step 1 is the hardest step. So if you can do step 1, you can do the other steps. So it's very important you pay attention. You're always going to set it up like this. 1/2 equals 1 times base, and your exponent is going to be your half-life, which in this case was 24.3 days. Now here's what you do. 1 times that is just going to be base of 24.3. So to solve this, I take the log of both sides. So log of 1/2 equals log of base b times 24.3. And you're sitting there going, well, how do I take log of base b? Well, you can't. So you divide it by 24.3. So I got log of base b. You're going to get a decimal here. I think it's a negative something. I don't know what it is. I don't have my calculator. I can't really do it. But you get, say it's 0.00112 or something like that. Now to find b, you take 10 to that number, whatever it is, and that gets rid of your log. So I'm going to take 10 to that power, and I'm going to get my answer, which is 0.971878. If you can get this part, that's the hardest part. Now the next 2 steps, it's going to give you a time. Guys, you already have the equation, so you just say this. I have an 11-gram sample times 0. I'm going to use the answer from part 1, so they'll hold on to it, to the whatever time they give you. So this one, it's 5 days. You would just type it into your calculator, and you should get 9.538. And guys, if you're doing half-life problems, the amount should go down. I started with 11, I ended up with 9. That makes sense. And you're going to do the same thing for this one, except for now it's an 11-gram sample. But it's 8 days. And I just want you to type it into your calculator. You should get 8.756 grams. Alright. So that's pretty much all there is to this stuff. If you have any questions, please email me. Do not be afraid to reach out. We can do a Google Hangout, and you can show me your screen, and we can work through the Hawks problems if you need help. But these are all the examples that you're going to see on Hawks. Again, make sure we get all the other work done. Other than that, we will start a new unit on Wednesday. I'm not going to test or anything, just because the test will be the Hawks test. Have a good day, guys.